Hey there guys, Dragon Master here, and I want to welcome you to Star Wars and Earth, Unity Episode 4, Planetary Invasion. So, this video is probably going to be released on Canada Day on July 1st. Sort of been busy planning a vacation, so I do apologize. I'm still going to be doing videos during my vacation for 2 weeks, so don't worry about that. You'll still see them every Friday. It's just I've been busy this weekend, so I do apologize. Yeah, so that's really all I have to say. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. We start off with transport ships currently flying down to the planet of Duros. These transports are carrying many heavy infantry, tanks, walkers, and special units such as Sith troopers and Death troopers. Each one of these special units are heading to the capital city of Duros. The plan is to take the capital and work their way around each city and settlement they have on Duros. Due to General Akbar having to focus on defending the planet in space, they haven't had much time to fortify. So they'll be landing in the city. But that doesn't mean they won't encounter heavy resistance, as reports are already coming in of Imperial RA patrol groups being sent off coming under heavy fire. But transport ships are also rocking as they are countering also anti-aircraft fire as well. The transport pilots immediately find a safe zone to land somewhere close to, I guess, the outskirts of the city and land there. With that said, squads of Death Troopers and Sith Troopers load out and immediately begin set up position. They also bring in Imperial tanks, along with one or two AT-AT, I guess, walkers. Immediately, the commander of this group immediately orders all troops. Our objective is simple. We are to spread out and secure every objective on our list. We are to help pave a way for the main force that is to land to make march into the capital city's capital building, which is under heavy guard. They all nod and begin their march. They look around and they currently look that they are currently on an abandoned street near some sort of factory district. But then one of the troopers catches something and he sees, and then he says, "Look out, snipers!" And immediately many of the troops scatter, and they come under sniper fire. And then groups of resistance soldiers and Duros troops immediately come out of the shadows and attack, along with missile and anti-tank weaponry. They immediately fire those, while regular stormtroopers would be slaughtered at best and be easy pickings. These are Death Troopers and Sith Troopers who are both elites, and they prove quite quickly to adapt to the situation. In under a few minutes, most of the Resistance troopers and Duros troops are dead, with the others on their hands and knees on the ground. The commander was pleased, and he also appreciates the jetpack the Sith troopers were gifted, as it will be quite useful. They then basically take the remainder of them prisoners and send them off while they continue their march. They immediately make out of the factory area and see that there's a small resistance base set up currently along with troops and militiamen and women. They immediately order their tanks to get in position, snipers. The commander then looks with his binoculars and says, "Alright, on the count of 1 and 2, we charge and give them everything we got." They all nod their heads. 1, 2, 3, charge! He says, and they charge immediately head first into the battle. Blaster fire is immediately shot, and the tanks and snipers pick off any strays. The tank fires huge shells into the building, tearing apart the infrastructure and causing damage to fall. Many of the militiamen look over, along with Duros troops, immediately drop their weapons, hoping that they'll be spared. The commander nods and says, "All right, follow their example and we'll spare your lives." And the troops did that, as many of them didn't want to die. With this said, the commander was also pleased on another mission accomplished. He then looks, "All right, we've cleared off this sector." And he immediately goes to contact his, well, I guess his superiors. He contacts the general of the invasion and says, "Sir, we have successfully taken over this entire district and have dealt with any strays or any militia or Duros troops that could stand up to them." The general is pleased and says, "Good work. Anything else to report?" "No, sir." "All right. Join up with the main force that is currently marching." He then and then wait for further instructions. He nods his head. "All right, you heard him." And they march off. They meet with the main force, which has now been able to surround the Capitol building in the capital city. The commander is pleased to see that they've only lost 15% of the invasion force. He asks, "How I'm pleased to see we haven't lost that much," and his subordinate, well, I guess his fellow subordinates say, "Yes, sir. Due to the bombers earlier that were sent, they were able to take out many key positions, making it much easier for our troops to get in." He nods his head. They then see the general, who has just arrived, march up and takes a hologram and contacts the people in charge of Duros, the Duros Council, and explains, "Duros, I have successfully taken over most of your city, and I currently have your building surrounded. If you do not want any more bloodshed, then you are to surrender, or else I'll be forced to siege your capital building, which I know you'll think will last a few weeks, and the New Republic will come save you in the Terrans. But sadly, the Terrans have taken neutrality, so you have two options." The Duros Council looks at each other, and then they explain, "All right, we surrender. Please, just no more bloodshed." He nods his head and then looks over and says, "All right. Stand down, everyone. It seems the Duros Council are much smarter than those in the Senate." This gains a chuckle from everyone. As he sees the Duros open up the gates that along with the wall that surrounded the Capitol building, he thinks, that was quite easy. But he has an ominous feeling that things are only gonna get harder from here. And that is where we're gonna leave it off. So there was no Jason in this episode or any of the other characters I've introduced, just, I guess, regular, like, troops and soldiers along with generals. No one special in this one. So as you can see, the planet of Duros in the Inner Rim has fallen. So you're probably thinking they probably put up a better fight, but like I said, Duros isn't much of a planet designed, more or less, for war and combat. It's a planet for producing. And they didn't expect that Akbar would be killed, as Akbar was the New Republic's top general. So I can understand why they would fail. So why would they think he could fail? So yeah, Duros has fallen, and that's, I guess, the first successful invasion. So yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next video. Well, I guess the next episode. So I guess without further ado, see ya.